Right now, it's Craig Charles.
Listen to me, Craig Charles, on BBC Radio 6 Music. My guest today, our rising soul star, Acantha Lang, is on the way. She'll be chatting all about her debut album, Beautiful Dreams. Homer calls everyone quiet. I'm about to speak to one of my new favourite artists, Acantha Lang. Acantha, are you there?
I am here, always here for you, Craig.
Where is there?
You catch me in my home office, like a little small room in North London, in my flat.
In my flat.
In my flat. I know. I still got a southern accent.
I tell you, I mean, do you feel more British now?
No, I don't actually. No, I'm still a Southern girl. I'm a New Orleans girl, but I came via New York. I lived in New York before I came here.
Yeah, but I say you've been in the UK for 12 years. I mean, do you feel slightly more British?
Yeah, because, a little bit when I say, oh, that's rubbish.
There's something full circle about your career as a blues singer and your beginnings in New Orleans, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Blues was my foundation, and it's how I got my start. It's how I found my voice. And, coming full circle to my debut album, which is out now, Beautiful Dreams, came out last Friday. It's all blues based. The foundation and the blood running through the music is blues. And so to be able to express myself through the blues and kind of like create blues based soul music is a dream come true.
How does it feel to finally have your debut album, Beautiful Dreams, out in the world?
It feels incredible. It's been a long time coming. I put a lot of hard work into this. I had to delay it, and push it back, due to kind of, I'm independent, so these things happen. Mm-hmm. But to finally give it out to the world, I feel like I always tell people, I feel like I've been pregnant with this thing about 3 years now. And I just gave birth to the world, so it feels nice.
I lived in New York for 9 months, and how would you compare New York to London? I mean, which is your favourite of those two cities?
I think New York is fun. It's exciting. It's got that edge to it. London is a little bit, I call London, it's a little bit more calm, calm. You got that big city vibe, but you can find little pockets of peace. New York is just full on, like, 24/7. You don't get a break. And I love New York, but I also love the living in London and kind of, being chill, having chill spots. Where did you live in New York?
I was quite posh. I lived 71st and West End.
Oh, God, you were posh.
Yeah.
Big time.
I hate to tell you. It was only a studio apartment in one of those lovely brownstone buildings. Mm-hmm. I mean, you used to sing at the Harlem Grill and at the Box, didn't you?
That's right. That's right.
What did you learn from there that stood you in good stead as a performer?
Well, being on stage at singing the blues in Harlem, when blues really is kind of like, it's not really popular among Black Americans. Like it's big over here, They had the big blues revival here in Europe and in the UK. So it was kind of challenging getting people out to a traditional blues show, when I was doing it at the time. So I learned a lot about how to kind of like, win the audience over, singing some blues and stage presence, and the same at the Box, being able to kind of like, have that command on stage and be fearless. When the Box flew me over here, to kind of MC the burlesque club where I was working, I realized that I was a big fish in a small pond over here, with being a blues singer from America. So that's why I stayed here and kind of built my sound and my band and really started kind of building the career that I have now.
Is it true Coco Taylor was a big part of your inspiration? Can you tell us about that?
She was. When I started like researching blues, like when I was singing blues in Harlem, I came across her CD, I Got What It Takes. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yep.
And when she was growling all over that thing, I mean, I was just like...
And it was growling, wasn't it?
Well, she was known for it. And she had like ballsy lyrics, like really kind of aggressive lyrics coming from a woman in the blues scene. And I was like, I'll take that. I'll be inspired by that. Let me have a little bit of that. So yeah, Coco Taylor was definitely a huge inspiration in how to kind of like just, speak your mind, speak your truth, and don't be shy about it.
As I mentioned, your new album, Beautiful Dreams, is finally out there on vinyl and CD. What track should we hear from it now? What track from the album do you think will go down best with our Six Music listeners?
Beautiful Dreams, the title track of the same name.
Okay. This is Acantha Lang and Beautiful Dreams.
Beautiful dreams, let me paint the scene. Daffodils and
with Beautiful Dreams. She is my guest. Acantha, when did you first realise that you had this mighty voice?
Well, it took a minute, it took a minute to kind of develop it and kind of fine tune it. It's like a fine wine. It was been cooking on the stove for a minute. So, it's just doing it. My voice has changed over the years, and as I kept singing, it started getting smokier. And then a couple of years ago, I remember just singing something. I was singing, and then all of a sudden, there was like a switch in my voice. I could do all this stuff that I could never do. It was like a portal had opened, with my voice. It was really weird. And what you hear today is kind of like, just been years in the making, really.
Does it run in the family? Were you from a family of musicians and singers?
No one in my family is in music. No one, there was not like, I didn't grow up in a gospel church. It was quite the opposite. I had to kind of literally find my way to music. I had to find it. It was always kind of like, I knew it was a calling inside of me, but it took a minute for it to all make sense, my journey to make sense.
The second track on the album is called Come Back Home, and it's all about your dad. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Come Back Home was written here in London, like when I first arrived, like a couple of years. I was new to London. Got with this songwriter, Luke Juby, who also plays with Mike and the Mechanics. And at the time when I wrote the song, I hadn't seen him in a long time. He left the family when I was 11. And it was my kind of wish, saying, I don't care who's wrong or right. I just want you to come back home, and from the perspective of me as a little girl, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Wow. But you've reconnected with your dad now. What dreams are you yet to realise, would you say?
Meeting you.
Yeah.
you don't got to say that. Meeting you, Craig.
That's flattery, that is, Acantha Lang.
You see, that's that Southern charm. They can't teach you that. They can't teach that in schools, baby. Being a full-fledged artist, making music that's timeless, that inspires people, and I'm on my way. I'm really, achieving a lot of the things that I set out to do. You know what? I just found out my album is number 3 in the UK Jazz and Blues charts. The official UK. I know. Can you believe it?
It's brilliant. You're a chart topper.
I'm like a dark horse in the business.
Listen, but you run your own label as well as performing and writing. So I mean, that must be a pinch me moment.
It is a pinch me moment because I literally am like a little mom and pop store, just me and a very small team doing it independently. And I feel amazing that people are really reconnecting with the album. You should read some of the comments. It's incredible. They're saying that it's like a revival from the 60s and 70s and comparing me to like Aretha and Mavis and like all my heroes. I mean, it's what dreams are made of. So I'm very, very happy.
How'd you juggle the sort of admin side of running your own label how'd you juggle that with the creative side?
Well, right now it's very heavy admin because the album just came out. So, it has to be done, though, because you can make a good album, but if you don't have any marketing or nobody hears it, then what's the point, So you got to get to the business. So hopefully, now that the album's out and it's kind of finding legs of its own, I'm going to be on the cover of Blues and Soul magazine. Hopefully I can get back to, writing in a couple of months, but I got to see this thing. I got to really see this album and give it all I got, and then I can get back to writing the second album.
Listen, when's the UK tour going to happen? Surely you're going to tour this album, aren't you?
Because I'm independent, it's a little bit different than when you have like those big marketing budgets and record labels kind of sorting things out for you. I have to kind of like go out and have meetings and like, be strategic and like reach out to people. So it's all coming together, and we're putting the pieces to hopefully get a headline tour here in the UK. But I do have some festivals coming up in Spain. I got a show in Paris. And if anybody wants to keep in touch, to go on my website, acanthalang.com. That's the best way to sign up and hear about shows and new music and stuff.
Brilliant. Listen, will you hang around and hijack my bowl of soda a bit later on?
Yes, of course.
Acantha Lang is my guest. She's still here, and I hope. And she's going to hijack my bowl of soda. Acantha, you still there?
I'm still here.
In your little flat. Say flat again.
Flat. I'm in my flat.
In North London. Southern Belle over here. So you're going to hijack the bowl of soul. What kind of soul did you listen to when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, my soul, what I listened to wasn't that interesting. It happened much later. Let's fast forward. So when I really started listening to soul music, it was like Millie Jackson, Coco Taylor, Gladys Knight, Mavis Staples, all of those kind of like deep,
all the good ones.
Yeah, big Ann Peebles, Nina Simone, yeah.
So what are you going to start off with?
So let's do Let's Straighten It Out by O.V. Wright.
Oh, Let's Straighten It Out by O.V. Wright. Now that has gone right deep. What is it that you like about that?
He just sounds like he has one tooth in his mouth.
Yeah.
And,
that's the way I feel.
That's what I want from my soul singers. I want one tooth, and I want some real deep kind of like pain, and O.V. Wright does that for me.
O.V. Wright, Let's Straighten This Out. And then what you got to go for?
So the next song I'm going to go for is It Hurts So Good by Millie Jackson.
Oh, that is a tune and a half. So what is it about It Hurts So Good that you like?
Well, it's the delivery. Millie Jackson really knows how to kind of like just connect with those lyrics and tell it like it is. She just really, and so I just love her delivery on that song.
And what are you going to finish off with?
So I'll finish off with the Queen of the Blues, Coco Taylor's Voodoo Woman, because I am from Louisiana and we know about voodoo down there. So why not take it back to Louisiana roots, Voodoo Woman.
I stayed in Louisiana once, with at Bobby Charles's house. Do you remember Bobby Charles? Bobby Charles wrote See You Later, Alligator. He also wrote Walking to New Orleans.
Oh.
And just outside of Baton Rouge it was in Louisiana. And he lived on a bayou and he had a pet alligator that he'd fenced off. And he just in this, so he'd fenced it off and he'd just throw it live hunks of meat like that. It was just
wow.
It was quite scary, actually.
It is pretty scary down in Louisiana when you start, the Cajuns and alligators and stuff, yeah.
He took me to this Zydeco venue, and this Zydeco band rocked it. I love that Zydeco sound.
Yeah, it's traditional Cajun music, for sure, yeah. Yeah, I gotta get down there. I gotta get down so I don't lose my Louisiana edge. My Louisiana accent. Gotta get it back.
They're singing to you. Come back home.
Come back home.
Acantha Lang, this is your bowl of soul.